So, hallo, herzlich willkommen zurück zu Let's Play Zero Escape, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Oder kurz 999. Ich überlege noch, wie ich das in den nächsten Folgen ankündige. Wir sind hier gerade genau da, wo wir letzte Folge aufgehört haben. Wir kommen also durch eine Tür und sehen hier eine Art, eigenartig protzigen, ich weiß nicht, eine Art Treppenhaus? Mal schauen. Immerhin, die Visual Novel geht ja weiter. His voice trailed off and all he could do was stare. A polished floor stretched up before him, ornate staircases rising up from the edges, each one of them equidistant from the others. The stairs and pillars were solid wood, and Art Nouveau embellishments and decorations covered the walls and pillars. It looked like nothing so much as the entrance to a luxurious... It looked like nothing so much as the entrance to a luxurious mansion from the early 1900s.
This is the inside of a ship?
Junpei couldn't help but wonder.
Well...
The water quickly filling the hallway behind him suggested that yes, he was. As he looked die Folge fängt ja super an gerade mit mir. As he looked, a fresh wave rolled out of the room he'd been in, gathering speed as it moved towards the stairs.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This is totally, Wait, what the hell? A wave? Oh, shit! Shit! Okay, I gotta get out of here.
Junpei spun around, his wet shoes squeaking in protest on the polished floor, and ran toward the tremendous staircase in front of him. Und Antworten hinter ihm geht gerade das Schiff. Ja.
B-deck! Hurry! Hurry!
As he ran, he glanced quickly at the plates mounted on the wall, denoting the decks of the ship.
A-deck's next!
Gut kombiniert, Junpei. He took the stairs two at a time, not entirely sure where he would find himself. Just as he began to wonder where, in fact, the stairs did lead...
What?
Junpei saw another person out of the corner of his eye.
People!
He stopped short, nearly tripping over the next stair, and looked. It wasn't just one person he'd seen. On the landing to the left of the stairs, there were 4 people staring at him. And on the right side, 3 more.
A lot of people.
All told, there were 7 of them. It looked as though they had been on their way down the stairs. They had stopped short when they saw Junpei, their eyes wide. He'd done the same, of course, and now they stood there staring at one another. Junpei didn't move one foot placed awkwardly on the step, in the middle of a stride. Who were these people? This entire interaction lasted only a matter of seconds. The woman spoke to Junpei and time began to move again.
I guess it's another one of us now.
A dancer?
The woman was dressed, Junpei thought, rather like a dancer. Her clothes covered very little and her prodigious jewelry little more.
No, I'm not. You better get moving.
With no further ceremony, she ran straight past Junpei and toward the doors behind him. Ich möchte kurz anmerken, ja, dieser Charakter ist quasi der Fanservice-Charakter dieses Spiels. Und dabei gehört sogar zu den älteren Charakteren. Egal.
Oh, well, okay then.
The sudden proximity of a woman with such striking assets left Junpei momentarily stunned. Ja, ich glaube, das könnte jedem von uns passieren. Also zumindest von den... Ja gut, jetzt... Wobei? Ja, vielen von uns. Definitiv. But the others wasted no time and quickly followed the strange woman.
Silver hair? Huh?
The first to pass Junpei was a young man with silver hair. He threw a quick glance at Junpei's direction as he ran, muttering,
One of us, huh? What? Nothing.
Following him was an older man, his face calm and without fear. Soft wrinkles sprouted from his eyes, and he came close enough as he passed for Junpei to see wisps of grey in his hair. His composure and shock of hair struck Junpei as rather like that of an elderly lion.
Going up won't do you any good. There are 2 doors, but neither of them will open.
Wait, hold on. The doors won't open?
The next to speak to Junpei was a girl with pink hair and a high voice.
Come on! Aren't you coming? You gotta hurry!
Her small hand was wrapped around the wrist of another man. His eyes were closed, almost as though he were sleeping. His features were graceful, almost serene. And he was dressed rather elegantly for someone his age. Something about his posture seemed very refined, and Junpei couldn't help feeling he was noble and dignified somehow. He'd certainly never seen one, but this man seemed like what Junpei had always imagined a prince would be like.
That's 9 of us then. All of the cards are in hand.
What does that mean? Junpei opened his mouth to ask what the other man had meant, but the girl with pink hair rushed past him.
Wait! They're gone. Just what is going on? There's an old man like a lion, a girl with pink hair, and a prince, and I have no idea what they're talking about.
He turned just in time to seize two. Entschuldigung, nochmal vorne. He turned just in time to seize. Entschuldigung, dass ich hier gerade diese dramatische Szene. Na, so dramatisch ist ja auch nicht, aber diese Szene halt kaputt mache, indem es werden wichtige Charaktere mehr oder weniger vorgestellt. Entschuldigung. He turned just in time to see 2 more people running toward him. One of them had hair like a bird's nest and looked as though a stiff breeze might topple him. And the other was a veritable mountain of a man.
Huh? Ah!
Ja, das denke ich auch immer. The scrawny one scuttled past Junpei as though he were running from something.
What was that all about?
Hey! What the hell are you just standing there for? Didn't you hear him? The doors on A deck are no good. We gotta check the doors on B deck. Got it? Now go!
Before he had a chance to respond, the man laid a massive hand on Junpei's shoulder. With no more effort than Junpei would have used to brush aside a fly, the man shoved him out of the way.
Whoa!
Thrown off balance by the man and recent events, it took Junpei a few steps to get his bearings. He finally regained his balance and looked up at what the other 7 had been running toward.
Hey man, that was dangerous! Huh?
There were 2 pairs of large iron doors set into the wall in front of him. They looked quite sturdy and each had handles jutting from them. Written across the surface of each door in red paint was a number. The door on the right?
4? And this one says 5. They're the same.
The guy Junpei had decided to call Silver was mumbling to himself.
The room I woke up in had a number on the door just like that.
You too, eh?
With an arched eyebrow, the lion looked over at Silver.
My cell was the same. A number upon the door. I opened it, ran down the hallway outside, and found myself in a rather grand room full of stairs, as I suspected the rest of you.
It was as though the floodgates had been opened. They all began to talk at once.
Me too.
Same for me. There was a door with a number on it.
It soon became clear that each one of them had awoken in a room with a locked door and solved a puzzle to escape. They'd all ended up in the same room. Almost as though they'd been guided here.
Yes, we all saw the same thing. That's not important. We need to hurry.
You think I don't know that lady?
Before the dancer attempted to finish, Silver was already running.
Open! Damn it!
He grabbed hold of the door labeled 5 and pulled. However,
Fuck, it's not opening. This damn thing won't even budge.
Out of my way!
The mountain grabbed Silver's shoulder and tossed him aside. His path cleared, he took a few steps back and then threw himself at the door. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. The door shook as his body slammed into it, but showed no signs of breaking or opening. The mountain threw himself at the door again.
A body slam from a guy that big didn't even budge it. There must be some other way.
Junpei turned toward door 4. Next to the door on the wall was a small box.
This looks just like the device next to the door in that room earlier. So that means this door is probably locked too. But still...
He had to check. Junpei grabbed the handle and threw all of his weight onto it. It was locked as tight as the door next to it, as he'd suspected.
Damn it!
Junpei punched the door. It did not respond.
Are there any other doors?
He'd barely finished the thought when the sea deck plate he'd passed on his way up sprang unbidden to his mind. His body moved before he had time to think. Junpei turned and ran back toward the stairs. He had scarcely taken a step when, at the top of the stairs, next to an ornate clock embedded in the wall, he saw a person. It was a girl. She looked to be the same age as Junpei. Offiziell 21. He froze, unable to look away from her face. He wasn't confounded by her beauty or something equally silly. No, there was another reason he couldn't take his eyes off the girl. Junpei had seen her somewhere before. He couldn't quite remember where, but he knew he'd met her before. The girl, too, stared at Junpei, similarly stunned. Her response suggested she'd seen him before as well.
Huh?
Without saying a word, Junpei walked slowly toward her. She didn't move. It was almost as though she was held in place by some sort of magic spell. As Junpei stepped onto her landing, the spell broke. No sooner had he set his foot down than the whole ship shook a second time. The quake caught the girl unprepared and she fell.
Watch out!
Moving on instinct, Junpei leapt to catch her. Or so he thought.
Oh.
Her face was far closer than it should have been, mere inches from his own.
Yeah.
He was flat on his back, and she had landed squarely on top of him. The girl seemed as confused as he did, and her face suggested she still hadn't fully recovered from seeing him. For a moment that seemed to stretch for a very long time, they stared at one another. The ship stopped shaking. Everything was quiet. Water could be heard from the bottom of the ship, lapping faintly at walls and ceilings, but eventually that faded as well. The silence was complete, a thick, muffling blanket. At last, the girl opened her mouth.
Oh my gosh! Is that you, Jumpy?
Jumpy? Jumpy? Her words echoed through Junpei's head, and suddenly his memory returned.
Akane.
Why hadn't he realized it before? The girl was... Ja, ich werde jetzt überlegen, werde ich so aussprechen, wie es hier ausgesprochen wird, eigentlich ist es nicht richtig. Die werden hier sagen Akane Kurashiki. Richtig wäre eigentlich, wenn man es ganz korrekt japanisch aussprechen würde, Kurashiki Akane. Aber ich werde es einfach quasi, ich werde Vor- und Nachname, so wie es halt hier geschrieben wird, darstellen. Aber ich werde halt in den Szenen, den Sequenzen, die ich lese, den Namen japanisch aussprechen, also auch japanisch betonen. Akane Kurashiki. She and Junpei had been friends in childhood. They'd gone to elementary school together for 6 years. But what was she doing on the ship? Her soft eyes were only inches away from his own. He could feel the warmth of her face. Feelings he'd thought long forgotten began to work their way to the surface. He could feel his face heating up. At that moment... Interessanterweise springt man plötzlich in den Adventure Screen. Ich möchte zurück in den Novel Screen. At that moment, a speaker crackled to life and a cold, eerie voice filled the room. Ja, dann welcome aboard. Ich werde es jetzt nicht noch vorlesen, auch wenn es sehr undeutlich ist. Wenn Leute das hier gerade einfach nur im Hintergrund hören, lest den Text, wenn dieser Typ spricht.
What?
What's that voice?
They hurriedly untangled themselves from one another and struggled to their feet. Their 7 companions had heard the voice as well, and many of their faces had gone pale. They looked around frantically, desperate to locate the source of the voice. At last they found it. A speaker sat in the ceiling. The voice was harsh, obscured occasionally by the crackle of static.
This is...
Junpei recognized it. How could he have forgotten it?
That guy in the gas mask! Hey, asshole! What the hell is this? Come on out here. I want to get a look at you.
What do you mean to do to us?
Nonary game.
What the hell's that?
The voice continued, implacable.
What is he talking about?
Hey, there's something in my pocket. Check this out.
Silver reached into his pocket and pulled out a small slip of paper. The rest of them reached into their own pockets and pulled out similar slips of paper. Junpei followed suit and dug into the pocket of his pants. He felt the telltale crumple of paper, slightly damp from his earlier ordeal.
Hey, I got one too.
Then it would seem Zero has seen fit to grace us each with a letter.
Ich möchte kurz sagen, es ist vielleicht ein bisschen blöd, dass man im Novel Screen die ganze Zeit den Text halt auch vor allem anderen Bildmaterial hat. Aber ich finde insgesamt Novel halt deutlich besser als einfach nur Adventure, wo man nur die Sätze der Charaktere hat. Ich finde gerade, die Beschreibungen geben dem Ganzen einfach mehr Tiefe. Habe ich in der ersten Folge schon gesagt, Entschuldigung, wollte ich nochmal erwähnen.
Would you mind terribly reading it to us, young man?
His request had been delivered to Junpei, who, after a short moment of surprise, did as he'd been asked.
On this ship, you will find a handful of doors emblazoned with numbers. We will call them the numbered doors. The doors in front of you are a pair of the same. The key to opening these numbered doors are the numbered bracelets that each of you possess. Should you total the numbers on your numbered bracelets and find that the digital root of that number is equal to the number of that door, the door will open. Only those who have opened the door may pass through. There are, however, limits. Only 3 to 5 people can pass through one numbered door. All those who enter must leave, and all who enter must contribute. So this thing on my arm is a bracelet.
He glanced around. It looked like everyone else had one as well, and had come to much the same conclusion.
The purpose of the game is simple. Leave this ship alive. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
There's one last thing I must tell you. As you have no doubt surmised, this ship has begun to sink. On April 14, 1912, the famous ocean liner Titanic crashed into Earthquake. After remaining afloat for 2 hours and 40 days, it sank beneath the waters of the North Atlantic. I will give you more time.
The voice finished and the speaker went silent.
I hear a bell.
I think it's coming from over by the stairs.
It's the clock telling us the time.
Everyone had their eyes on the antique clock embedded in the wall. 7, 8, 9. The sound of the 9th bells faded away. The 10th never came.
It rang 9 times, so 9 o'clock then?
I think it's 9 p.m. I couldn't see anything when I tried looking out the window earlier. It has to be nighttime.
If that is the case, then we would need to escape by 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Now it is time. Let our game begin. I wish you all the best of luck.
The speaker went silent and did not speak again.
Hey! You bastard! What do you mean by that? Come out here, you asshole!
That guy won't stop shouting. And the others.
Whew. Junpei too was consumed by his thoughts.
I have way too many questions. Who is Zero? What's the nonary game? What's it for? Is he some nutjob just doing this to mess with us, or does he have some other purpose? Why pick me to be part of this insane game? And the others? Why are these 8 people here? And the most confusing of them all. Why is Akane here? I haven't seen her since elementary school. Why her? Why now? Coincidence? No. There's no way. There has to be a reason. I don't know what exactly, but there has to be.
Very well.
The lion's voice seemed oddly loud in the silence.
Standing around here won't do us any good. Best we get moving, don't you think?
Get moving?
Are you planning to open the numbered doors?
Hey, wait! Wait, don't tell me you're actually gonna do what this Zero says.
No, that's not what I mean.
The lion shook his head, mildly annoyed.
I'm saying let's find another way. After all, we haven't really examined this place yet.
What?
Where have we not looked? Everyone searched A-Deck already, right?
Yeah, we were kind of in a rush though, so we probably missed some things.
Why don't we check out the lower floors first? We should see how deep this place goes.
I can work with that.
Then let's go.
Whoa!
What the hell? It's completely submerged.
Damn. If the water level keeps rising like this, we're all gonna drown.
No, I don't believe that's something we have to worry about.
The prince knelt down and gently drew his hand across it.
See? The water's not flowing. That means the origin of the water has been stopped. Perhaps this Zero fellow has used some sort of remote control to seal a watertight door lower down. He said that our time limit was 9 hours. In other words, this water won't rise for 9 hours.
And you're saying we won't sink till then?
Well, that may be a little too optimistic. No point to wishful thinking.
That's depressing.
If we don't determine a way to advance from this point, we are stuck on A-Deck and C-Deck.
Looks that way.
Hey, hold on. How about we check C-Deck before we jump to any conclusions? We might find something there.
Huh, you're right. I think we should look at the metal doors by the big staircase, too. They're pretty suspicious.
No numbers on either door. And I don't see an authentication device either. Nope. It's locked.
This one too. Damn, none of the doors are opening.
Hey guys, over here. There's another door behind the stairs.
This one doesn't open either.
We'll see about that. Hey, old man. Give me a hand.
Using force, I see. Let's give it a try. It won't budge.
Could you not just start shouting out of nowhere? You almost gave me a heart attack, you know.
Oh, sorry.
It doesn't appear to have moved even with two of us trying. It's very well made.
Idiots. Try using your brain first.
Huh?
Take a closer look.
A keyhole?
Right. It's obvious what we need to open this door.
A key, huh?
You got a problem?
No, I just really doubt we'll find a key that easily.
Ignoring the tense air between the two, Junpei moved closer to examine the doorknob.
What's this?
Just above it was a strange mark in the shape of a circle surrounding a dot.
There's a mark on it. Does it mean something?
Hey, look! Over here, too!
Hmm?
Pink Hair was looking at double doors they hadn't examined yet.
More doors.
I think they're elevators. There's an inverted triangle button by them.
May as well try pressing it. Huh. Nothing.
Maybe the power isn't on.
Or we need to do something with this card reader. And there's a strange mark here, too. What is this? It looks like a lowercase h with a dash drawn across the upper stem of the h.
Junpei stared at it for a while.
This is the symbol of Saturn. It's an astrological symbol.
Then the mark on the other door.
I think that was the sun symbol. We saw the same symbols on A deck.
We did?
I don't remember that.
A deck, huh? Huh. I haven't been there, so I wouldn't know.
We may as well check again since we're talking about it.
Lion's word... Entschuldigung, nochmal von vorne. Lion's words urged them on. And they took up... Ach, nochmal. Entschuldigung, ich bin gerade so ein bisschen... Ich bin auch verdammt müde gerade. Aber ich könnte eigentlich erstmal noch was sagen. Wir sehen also, wir scheinen hier mit recht aufgeweckten Leuten unterwegs zu sein, wobei der Kerl, der jetzt im Moment nur Mountain genannt wird, wohl etwas rabiater unterwegs sein soll. Aber, ihr könnt ja schon mal euch eure Gedanken zu den Charakteren machen. Also, Lion's words urged them on, and they took the stairs up.
There, the two doors next to the stairs. The one on the left had a keyhole with a similar symbol engraved on it.
She's right. It looks similar to what we saw downstairs.
This is an Earth symbol. The horizontal line symbolizes the equator, and the vertical one represents the prime meridian.
I see.
Stellt sich die Frage, woher Akane den ganzen astrologischen Kram weiß. Junpei looked up at the ceiling. So.
The ceiling. Metal plates. Huh. It's as if it's covering something up.
Perhaps it was a dome of some kind.
I wish we could get out through there.
Be realistic. We'd need a lot of explosives to open that up.
The windows, too. Huh. They're all covered.
There were several windows along both sides of the ship, or at least they had been. They too were covered with metal plates.
In other words, we're trapped. All the exits go nowhere.
Junpei was not happy. The girl with pink hair spoke up.
Well, I'm sure they go somewhere. We just can't open them.
Then the mountain spoke.
You don't know that. For all we know, they just open into walls or take us in circles.
The prince did not agree.
No, I'm sure they go somewhere. Otherwise, what point would there be? And we can open them. Well, two of them at least.
Oh, you mean the numbered doors.
All eyes turned toward the doors with numbers on them. The atmosphere in the room grew tense.
Hey, wait a minute. I think I said this earlier, but I don't think we should do that.
The dancer moved in front of the doors, as if to block them.
We'd have to be crazy to open these doors. If we do that, we're doing exactly what Zero wants us to do.
Suddenly, everyone began to speak at once.
May as well give it a shot. Can't stay here forever.
Yes, I'm in favor as well.
No, I'm totally against this.
But shouldn't we at least try?
We don't know what'll happen. We should stay here.
We don't have time for that. In 8.5 hours, this ship is going to sink.
The clamor of voices made it next to impossible to determine who was saying what. Their arguments grew more and more intense until people were shouting and screaming at one another.
Hey, shut up!
They fell silent and all eyes turned to Junpei. He felt each stare burning into him, but he refused to flinch.
Before we try and decide where we're going to go, there's something else we ought to do.
What's that?
We need to exchange information. We don't know anything about each other. I want to know who you guys are. Who you are, where you came from, why you ended up here. Don't tell me you aren't curious too.
They were silent. Some of them looked the other way, or bit their lip, or crossed their arms and stared at the ceiling. But one of them spoke up. It was Akane.
I agree. I think Jumpy is right.
Jumpy?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about him. I just call him Jumpy. His name is Junpei.
She pointed toward Junpei.
We're childhood friends. We went to the same elementary school.
Wait, stop! Don't tell us stuff we didn't ask you about. Zero's probably watching us right now. What are you gonna do if he's listening in?
Oh, would that be bad?
Hell yeah, it would! We don't know how much that bastard knows about us. Maybe he just picked a bunch of random people to kidnap. If that is the case, then it'd be dangerous for us to let him know too much. If Zero knows who we are, he could go after our families. Maybe he'd tell us he had them to get us to do stuff, you know?
But we still need to know what our names are. It's going to be hard to talk to each other if we don't have names.
Alright, then why don't we have code names?
To him, apparently, it seemed like the obvious solution.
Code names?
Yeah, we'll each pick something. Like, I'll be 7.
7? Why are you 7?
It seemed a fair question. The mountain stuck out his left arm.
Because this bracelet number says 7.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
He smirked.
All right, I'm gonna be Santa. Any of you chumps know Japanese? No? Well, san means 3. So, I'll be Santa. You know, like Santa Claus. Fits, don't you think?
Natürlich sagt er im japanischen Original nicht, könnt ihr alle Japanisch, weil das ist im Original ja komplett auf Japanisch. Aber der Name stimmt. Ein paar andere Namen sind ein bisschen abgewandelt, aber dazu komme ich gleich.
Then your bracelet number.
Yeah, it's got a 3 on it. Good job, Grandpa.
Just like the mountain had done, Silver thrust out his left hand. Sure enough, the face of his bracelet read 3.
Very well then. I'll go next, shall I? My bracelet number is 1. Given that, I think Ace seems appropriate.
I'll be Lotus then. As I'm sure you all know, it has 8 petals.
Hier möchte ich nur kurz was sagen. Erstmal bei Ace, der heißt im Japanischen anders. Der hatte irgendeinen japanischen Namen, der aber glaube ich auch Ichi enthält, was das japanische Wort für 1 ist. Lotus hat einfach den japanischen Namen, also das japanische Wort für Lotus. Und nein, botanisch stimmt es nicht. Der Lotus hat nicht 8 Blütenblätter, aber im symbolischen und auf sehr vielen Flaggen und ähnlichen gibt es halt den 8-blättrigen Lotus.
Which means, of course, that my bracelet number is 8.
I would appreciate it if you would call me Snake. My bracelet number is 2. Since Ace has chosen cards, then I choose dice, Snake Eyes clearly, which is particularly relevant given that I am blind.
Der Name unterscheidet sich komplett vom Japanischen, denn im Japanischen nennt sich der Kerl Nils. Wer sich jetzt fragt, wie kommt man auf Nils, erstmal vom Japanischen Ni 2 und nach Niels Bohr, deutschem Physiker. Und was Snake Eyes angeht, Snake Eyes, für die, die es nicht wissen, das ist ein Einerpasch. Und ja, er sagt, er ist blind, also wobei der Name Snake an gewissen Stellen auch sehr gut passt. Auch wenn ich ständig an Metal Gear denken muss, wenn der angesprochen wird, aber egal. Weiter.
You can't see?
I knew it.
He'd kept his eyes closed during their entire ordeal, which had suggested something strange, but to it said so casually. It was something of a surprise. Everyone seemed a little nervous at the prince's proclamation, but no one seemed to know how to react to it.
Me next!
There was one person, however, who didn't seem to be surprised in the least. The girl with pink hair.
I want to be Clover.
Hier kann ich mal kurz anmerken, Clover natürlich... Wobei, erstmal weiter.
You know, like a 4-leaf clover. Good luck, right?
Looking almost bored, she held out her left hand. The face of her bracelet showed the number 4. Hier möchte ich kurz anmerken, auch die hieß im Japanischen ein bisschen anders. Aber im Grunde ging es da auch nur um einen Satz, der auf ein 4-blättriges Kleeblatt hinwies. Ich habe halt sehr viel Trivia-Wissen zu diesem Spiel einfach aus dem Wiki gelesen, nachdem ich es durchgespielt habe natürlich. They'd come around to Junpei. He held out his bracelet.
Alright, my number's 5. So my code name is gonna be...
Why have one? It's not like there's any point to it now.
Da hat sie recht. The dancer cut him off and
I mean, we all
said,
know your name already. You're Junpei.
Oh, yeah.
They all nodded. Akane stepped forward, nervously.
Then you should all call me by my name too. Because, I mean, it doesn't seem...
It doesn't seem fair to Jumpy.
You're thinking it's not cool for you to hide your name after you told us his.
Akane fidgeted awkwardly. Junpei decided he had to do something.
What's your bracelet number?
It's 6.
She hesitated for a moment, then held out her left hand. As she'd claimed, the bracelet's face showed a 6. Junpei looked at it for a moment and thought.
Alright then, why don't we call you June?
June?
Yeah, you know, it's the 6th month of the year.
Das ist auch wieder anders als im japanischen Original. Dort wird sie nämlich nach der Farbe Violett benannt. Der 6. Farbe des Regenbogens. Warum sie das dann geändert haben, keine Ahnung. Violet hätte ja auch gepasst. Heißt du jetzt halt hier June. Und eine Sache, die ich komplett vergessen habe. Seven ist, glaube ich, der einzige Charakter, dessen Codename im Japanischen und im Englischen gleich ist. Aber naja, spielt keine große Rolle.
So you're June.
Jumpy?
Akane kneaded her hands and looked up at Junpei, uncertain. He smiled back at her, reassuringly.
Are you good with that?
Yeah.
She thought about it for a few more minutes, then seemed to come to a decision and gave Junpei a small nod.
Okay then.
Their names decided, Junpei ran over them quickly in his head.
So this is how everyone breaks down. 1 is Ace. 2 is Snake. 3 is Santa. 4 is Clover.
Ich habe mich vertan. Santa heißt im Japanischen auch Santa natürlich, weil auf Japanisches San schon angespielt wird.
5 is me. 6 is June. 7 is 7. And 8 is Lotus. That means 8 of us have revealed our bracelet numbers. The only one left is...
That glasses guy with hair like a bird's nest.
You haven't said a thing so far, have you?
His skin was pale, his breathing was heavy, and he was soaked with nervous sweat. His behavior seemed very suspicious, or perhaps simply emotionally unstable. It was difficult to tell. Whatever the case, it seemed clear that he had only a fingertip's worth of grip on his sanity. The girl with pink hair, Clover, walked up to him slowly. She put her hands on her hips and eyed him suspiciously.
What number are you?
He didn't answer. His bloodshot eyes twitched from person to person, and his breath came in hot pants.
Hey, I'm talking to you.
The man licked his dry lips with a shaking tongue and spoke with a voice like old paper.
Isn't it obvious? There are 9 people here. And you know who numbers 1 through 8 are. I'm the only one left.
So you're 9?
Yeah.
He extended a trembling arm. The bracelet did indeed say 9. Clover looked at it contemptuously. Ich weiß jetzt nicht mehr so 100%, was das heißt.
What's your code name?
Code name?
What do you want us to call you? We all made up names. You should too.
I don't need one.
Why not?
Because I am not gonna stay here with you.
He took a shuddering breath and exhaled. Clover looked at him with something very like disgust.
You've got some sort of plan?
I do.
Yeah? What's that?
You sure you want to know?
Yeah?
All right, let me show you. I'm gonna do this!
By the time they realized what he was doing, it was too late to stop him. The man's body moved like a snake's. In the blink of an eye, he had slid around behind her and wrapped his arm around her waist.
Hey! What the hell do you think you're doing?
Silver, Santa, leapt forward toward Clover and the 9th man. He was halfway there when...
Stay back!
Suddenly the man's hand dove into his pocket.
Ah!
Hier würde ich sagen, ist doch mal ein schöner Punkt für einen Cliffhanger, nicht wahr? Ist auch eher schon klar, dass dieses Spiel nichts für Kinder wird. Oder besser, die Geschichte, die dieses Spiel erzählt. Es ist mehr Geschichte als Spiel und ich finde, es ist allgemein mehr ein Erlebnis als ein Spiel. Aber ich würde sagen, beginnen wir erstmal das Ganze zu speichern. Und ja, das eigentliche Spiel geht dann in der nächsten Folge so richtig los. Ich freue mich auf jeden Fall, mir macht das richtig Spaß, auch wenn es mir leid tut, wenn ich mich immer wieder mal verspreche, speziell wenn ich eine ganze Zeit lang nicht gelesen habe, weil nur Dialog kam. Aber ja, dieses Spiel, finde ich, erzählt das Ganze, so eine richtig coole Geschichte. Man muss aber auch wirklich dem Ganzen Zeit geben, weil am Anfang ist es hauptsächlich verwirrend, danach wird das nach und nach alles so aufgelöst. Weil jetzt im Moment sieht man einfach nur, ja, wir haben hier 9 Leute, die haben sich jetzt alle wenigstens mal Codenamen gegeben. Irgendwann wird jetzt jeder Charakter immer vorgestellt, das war mir wichtig. Und ich fand einfach, dass diese Stelle sich wunderbar für einen Cliffhanger eignet. Also dann, ich hoffe, ihr habt Spaß, das ist konstruktive Kritik, vielleicht ein Däumchen nach oben da. Leider kann ich auf Kritik natürlich nicht eingehen, weil ich das Ganze hier alles im Voraus aufnehme und dann als einen großen Batzen über die Uni hochlade. Wobei die Dateigröße nicht sehr groß ist. Ich könnte das zur Not auch von zu Hause, aber ich habe ja oft genug erzählt, wie schlecht mein Internet ist. Ja gut, bis zum nächsten Mal. Cheerio!